Hey guys, it's OopDupe44. How are you going? Hey guys, it's OopDupe44. How are you guys doing today? And today I'm going to be looking at Mario Party 2 minigames. I know we just went over a Mario Party 1 minigames and there were mixed results, but Mario Party 2 has either significantly improved versions of older games or just some really good games that kind of came out and really became foundations for what happened later in the Mario Party series. So, I would think that the rankings, the way it's going to turn out, I think is that Mario Party 2 games are going to be a little bit averagely better than Mario Party 1 games, but we'll see how it turns out. So let's take a look at the Mario Party 2 mini games tier list. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, OopDupe44. I've also got Discord, which I will put the link in the description there. Right now, we are at 410 subscribers. I do want to try to get to 500 within the next couple months, so we'll see if we can do that. In the meantime, let's begin. So the first game on this list is actually, it's going to start a little inauspiciously I should say, because the first game here is actually a game I really dislike, and that is the game where the one player has an arrow and you have to shoot posts of the other three characters, and it's just, I don't know what they were thinking when they made this game, but this game is not fun, especially not for the three players. There's almost nothing you can do in this one. So this one does get off to a little inauspicious start, but don't worry, it gets better from here. The next one is the one where you three players throw bombs into a lake with one player in it, and the one player moves around trying to dodge the bombs. I think this is a good concept. I think it's interesting. It's just trying to chuck bombs at a player. I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty basic. I do think this one is pretty good, so I'm gonna put this one in B tier. So here is the first repeated video game that we have from Mario Party 1, the first repeated minigame. This is Bobsled Run, which previously I had it in B tier, and or maybe I had it in A tier, I can't remember. It is going to go in A tier. This one is a little bit easier, but overall it's still the same fun game that it always is. So yeah, that one's going to be Bobsled Run. And another repeat we have here, Bombs Away. This Bombs Away is basically the same as the one on Mario Party 1, except that at the very end, a bonsai bill gets fired from the ship, and it rocks the entire island, and you have to basically dodge that one. That's a tough one. But this is also going to go into A tier, as it was before. Alright, so this next one is a 4-player game where you've got a balloon on the back of your little slot car, and you've got spikes on the front, and what you have to do is you have to use the spikes to pop other people's balloons. This one is basically a battle mode, kind of, in some of the new Mario Karts, I should say. However, the controls are really not good on this one. It really only uses the control stick to move around and make turns and stuff, and it just is not... It's not really good, but the game itself is a nice concept, and I think that it really kind of brought, obviously this game came out around the same time as Mario Kart 64, so this really kind of brought that in. I'm going to put this one in C tier. I don't want to put it in D. I mean, it's a good enough concept, and it was pretty revolutionary, but just the controls in this one were not great. So here's another repeat, but this one has changed. This one is Bumper Balls, and instead of taking place over water, it takes place over lava. So Bumper Balls, as I've said, it's okay. I'm going to put this one in B tier. I think that's where I put it before. Maybe I put it in the C tier, but I like the atmosphere of this one, so... Alright, so Mario Party 2 has a lot of chance games, meaning games where you pick up thing and it's complete chance whether you win or not. I'm not a fan of these games. I do not like these games. You will find that all games in this category will go somewhere between C and F tier, depending on what it is. I'd say Day at the Races is probably the best of those, just because... it's cute to see the characters race against each other. It's a fun concept. but because of its random chance factor, it can't go higher than C tier. Alright, so the next one you have a Bowser statue, and you have to hip drop or punch or kick it to break it down into smaller pieces until it's not there anymore. This one is just another one of those basic, I don't really have much to say about it mini games. Although I will say when I do this one, I tend to press A more than I hip drop. I think it's just a little bit faster, but nothing bad to say about this one. I will put this one in B tier as well. So the next one is, I mean, there's also a bandstand game in this Mario Party 2 as well, but this is similar to Mario Bandstand with the exception that there is a 1 versus 3, and what it is one player makes a dance with controls and the other ones have to repeat it. Basically call and response. This is an early version of Mario Party 4's, I think it is. The beat goes on, or is that Mario Party 3? I can't remember which one that is. It's a memory game, basically. It's good. It's good. I'll put it into B tier as well. Yeah, I'll put it right there. So the next one is actually a game I didn't like in Mario Party 1, but they changed it enough in Mario Party 2 that I think it's actually pretty decent. This is the grab bag game. I think in Mario Party 1 it directly affected your coin total and you would lose coins based off of what happened, but this one, everyone starts with the same amount of mushrooms, and also someone starts with a golden mushroom, and basically you have to get the most mushrooms. So the concept has been improved on this game, but it's still pretty average, pretty mid at best. So I'm going to put this one in C tier. I'm going to put it below Daily Races. Okay. Looney Lumberjacks is the next one, and this really changes whether you're playing with an AI or if you're playing with a human player. If you're playing with a human player, this can get out of control pretty fast, but it's still a fun game. Again, not much to say about it. You just press the button that's on the screen, and you cut these logs. I'm going to put this one in B tier. I don't really have much else to say about Looney Lumberjacks. It's another one of those games that's forgettable, but enjoyable at the same time. Now, this next game is actually one that I enjoy. You're given a crowd. It's called Crowd Control, I believe. You get a crowd of boos or Goombas or whatever, bombs, and you have to count how many are in there within a very short period of time. This is a really fun game, and I really enjoy this one. I think that the general idea of it, and also the way that they really kind of shroud those enemies together, it's actually kind of difficult. And so I'm actually going to put Crowd Control in A tier. I do like Crowd Control a lot. Alright, Facelift. So, Facelift went in the S tier last time. I actually think that the Mario Party 1 version is better than the Mario Party 2 version, but it's just a personal taste. I just prefer screwing with Bowser's face. I think that Mario Party 1's facelift was a little more responsive and accurate than 2's, but still, the game is really good. I'm going to put, just because of that, that small gripe I have, I am going to put it in A tier, but it's going to the top of A tier. And Facelift, it doesn't matter what console you're playing at, it is one of the classic Mario Party minigames. Alright, so this next one I'm not a fan of. This is a 2 versus 2 game called Filet Relay, like filet like the sandwich, but also filet like, the fish, and you're basically a penguin and you have to walk with a fish, but it's really icy and difficult to control, and I just don't like the models that they use. They look like penguins. I'm not a fan. It's actually one of my least favorite mini games. So Filet Relay is going to go near the bottom at an F tier. I'm not a fan at all. Alright, Hot Rope Jump is basically the same as it was in Mario Party 1. So Hot Rope Jump, basically you jump over the fire, you get a little bit of an advantage if you're on the inside, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to put this one in B tier, near the top. Alright, the next one is interesting. It's a coin minigame called Quicksand Cache, where you have one character in the quicksand to get all the coins, and the other characters kind of walk around and try to collect any leftover coins. This is basically the same as Coin Shower Flower from Mario Party 1, with the exception that it's in underground or instead of over the water. I was okay with Coin Shower Flower. I mean, it was not. I think this one's about the same. So we'll put this one near the bottom of B tier, I think. All right, so this next one's extremely simple, and it's a little too simple. Basically, just ground pound these faces, and whoever gets to the bottom first wins. Not an exciting concept. Nothing. It's very original, honestly, and very unoriginal, I should say. And it's just not anything too super special, but it's not terrible either. We'll put this one into C tier. Alright, Abandoned Ship. I am not a fan of Abandoned Ship because if you are not paying attention, you will die within the first 2 seconds. And it's just a little bit hard to control climbing wise. Sometimes there's a little delay in the control response, but most of the time this game is actually a little more tricky, but it's more of a frustrating tricky rather than a difficult tricky. So Abandoned Ship is actually going to D tier. I am not a big fan of this one. I think it's just a little bit too quick. The game's a little too quick, if that makes any sense. So this next one is it's basically the Bowser explosion balloon game from Mario Party 1, except it's a 2 versus 2 game. So you have to work together with another player. I really liked the other one. This one, I think, obviously you have less control, so it's not as good, but it is still pretty good. And I will put this one in B tier. So you'll notice a lot of B tiers popping up for Mario Party 2. Okay. Everyone really likes Bowser Bigger Blast. I understand that. It's just chance. And again, chance games cannot go in good spots. I do not like chance games. I think they are very skill games where it's at. This Bowser Bigger's Blast, I can't put it any higher than D tier. And honestly, if it wasn't so popular and repeated in Mario Party 3 and 4 and all the other ones, I don't think I would have put it in D tier. I would have put it in F tier. The only reason I'm putting it in D tier is because it actually repeats itself in other game modes. People clearly like it, but it's just chance. And again, I can't give chance games good rankings. So, all right, the submarine game. This one is, again, it's pretty forgettable. Not much to say about it. I'll put this one in the top of C tier. I don't really have much to say about this one either. We'll put it right here. So the first S tier mini game in Mario Party 2, and there's going to be a couple of them coming up actually, now that I'm looking at it, is the Dizzy record game where you get spun around and then you have to like walk around, you know, while the controls are all messed up. And I really like those games. Those are fun. So that's a definite S tier for me. It's really funky trying to figure out which direction you have to move the controller in order to get in the right direction. So to match the character's direction to where you want to go. So it's quite interesting. And this was like the first instance that I really remember this happening in. So another revolutionary concept, another good game. S tier all the way. Alrighty, so Dungeon Duos is very much a shell of itself from the Mario Party 4 and onwards versions. It is not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. I just don't. Well, at least I think this is a Dungeon. Yeah. So this one is just man. Where do I want to put? I'm thinking C tier. I don't think it's that bad that it would go into D tier, but I'd put it in C. I'm actually gonna put. I'm gonna move a couple of these around. There we go. Okay. All right, minecart game. Again, I am not a fan of the minecart games. I'm not sure if you can fall off in this one, unlike the first one, but still, it is just not a concept that I enjoy. It's a little wonky. It's button mashing, which I'm not a huge fan of, depending on the game. So minecart is gonna go in a D tier. It's like meh. I don't really know how to describe it, other than using weird sound effects with my mouth. All right, so in Mario Party 1, we had Mushroom Mix-Up. In Mario Party 2, it is called Hexagon Heat. It is the exact same game with a different aesthetic, and it stays in S tier. If it's just as good, if not better, than Mushroom Mix-Up. I mean, personally, I like the aesthetic of Mushroom Mix-Up better, but the game of Hexagon Heat is a little more intense. So I think it's just made a little bit better in the control department. So that one's gonna go in S. It's that Mushroom Mix-Up, Hexagon Heat, classic Mario Party games, and they will stay in the upper echelons. Next one is another version of Hot Potato Hot Bomb, and no, I'm sorry, this one is just not one that I like. I'll give it a little bit of a nudge, simply because I think this one is a little more controllable than the first one, but it really is not by much, so it's gonna go into D tier. So yeah. All right, Lava Tile Island. Lava Tile Island is a really fun game. It is similar to Hexagon Heat, but the tiles move. You have to basically stay on the tiles, and yeah, make sure you don't fall in the lava. It's interesting they use the Grindle texture for this, but anyway. Lava Tile Island is going to be an A tier game, and I'm going to put it right there in between the Crowd Cover and Bobsled Run. All right, next one is called, I like this name, Magnet Carta. And basically, you've got magnets on the front of your vehicles, and you can pull coins. It's a 2 versus 2 game, and whoever gets the more coins wins. It's a little bit tricky to pick these up and get the controls right, but once you do, this is a game where you kind of have to learn over time. It's not one that you're going to be able to play immediately. I mean, you could do it if you're lucky. Magnet Carta's interesting, and I like the concept. I think it's a very unique concept. I'm going to put this one in B tier. I do think that it is a pretty unique game. All right, now, in the previous Mario Party 1, Shy Guy games, where you wind up the Shy Guy, required you to rotate the controller. My friends, in Mario Party 2, that is no longer the case, so this one actually requires A presses, which is significantly better, but it still does not get out of C tier for the sole reason that the AI on this particular game is extraordinarily and annoyingly strong. But if you're playing with other humans with actual stamina, this game works. So really, I would put it in different tiers depending on who you're playing with, but as a general average, I would put it in C tier. So we'll put it right here, right around where Day of the Races is. I think that's a good place to put it. All right, Rainbow Run is identical to Tightrope Treachery, and it is just as bad as Tightrope Treachery. So I am not a fan of this one, those 1 versus 3. It's, I guess it's a little bit easier to be the one player, but other than that, not much to say about this one. So this one is going to go into D tier. I'm probably going to put this one, Rainbow Run, right. Yeah, I'll put it there. All right, so this next one is Rake 'em Up, or I think it's called Rake 'em Up. This one's a lot of a better game. Basically, it's a battle mini game where you have to rake up as many mushrooms as possible. And there's also some golden mushrooms on there, and whoever rakes in the most mushrooms wins. Very simple concept, interesting controls. I think this is a B tier game. I think this is a decent. This is kind of where the battle game started off in Mario Party 2. So again, part of a revolutionary concept that popped up in later Mario Party games. I'm gonna put Rake 'em Up in. I think it's definitely gonna go in B tier, but where? Better than this. Probably better than that. Definitely better than that. More. it is kind of similar to Mario Kart. I'm going to put it right there. I like that spot for it. All right. Another S tier game. Shy Guy Says. Now, I put this one... I can't remember if I put it in A or S for Mario Party 1, but this one is better because it takes place in the sky, and Shy Guy shoots your balloon and you fall to your death instead of just being sent off to sea. You literally die if you get this one wrong. So Shy Guy Says that's going to be an S tier for this game. A classic one. A or B, which one's he going to pick? Don't get faked out. And that's the name of the game. Sky Pilots. Okay, I personally don't like Sky Pilots, but it's not a terrible game. I think C tier, bottom of C tier is probably where I want to put this one. It's hard to control. Personally, I don't really like it, but it's not terrible. I don't think it's so bad that it's like when I see it, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to play this game. I think it's just, meh, I'm not good at this one. Alright. The next one is Tile Driver. Excuse me, Tile Driver is the next one. Basically, this is the minigame in Donkey Kong 64 where you have to ground pound on the tiles to get DK's face. This is almost identical. You're looking for a character. This is just ground pounding as fast as you can, honestly, and changing everything to the right setting. This kind of started off a puzzle game, thing. I personally like Tile Driver. I mean, this is one that I enjoy playing. I tend to be pretty good at it. But do I want to put it in B? A? Maybe B? I definitely really like this one. But is it better than Bumper Balls? No. Yeah, it is. It is, I think. And I think it's better than... Yeah, I'm going to put it right... I don't know. I'm going to put it right here for now. I think I like it in A tier. Alright, another S tier game. This is Toad Bandstand, which is pretty much identical to Mario Bandstand, except that Toad is leading you rather than incompetent conductor played by one player. So basically, you follow what Toad's saying, and you play the notes when he tells you to. And it's pretty fun. It's a nice aesthetic with the flowers and stuff. I like it. S tier all the way. Alright, the next one's another submarine game where you have to shoot the targets, or break the targets, as people like to say. This one is, it's meh. I mean, I'm okay with it. There's nothing I have to say bad about it. But it's not also one that is very good. It's okay. So, let's put this one in B tier. Let's put it here. Yeah, I think that's a good place for it. Alright, so Crazy Cutter, I put in S tier. In the last one. I'm actually going to drop it into A tier this time for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is a battle minigame. And number two, it is a little bit easier. Some of the shapes are really easy in this one. Like, you can see the Chain Chomp one. It's still gonna go like right next to Facelift. I mean, these games are still like borderline S tier, but the thing is that I think the Mario Party 1 original ones were a little bit better for Facelift and Crazy Cutter. All right, Shock, Drop, and Roll. This one is so much fun, man. I mean, if you're the one player, you are just going insane with that lever. And if you survive as the 3-player, I mean, you are given props, man. This is a tough one to survive for the 3 players. It is a hell of a lot of fun, though. And I'm actually going to put this one in A tier as well. Actually, I'm going to put this one in S tier. This one is just crazy, man. It's fun, and it's a tough one to beat. All right. Platform Peril is a little bit different this time around, where it has different types of platforms. I'll give it a nudge for creativity, so it will instead go into B tier instead of C tier, but it's not that big of a nudge, as I personally still don't like it, but it is overall a better game because of the added platforms. So Let's put this one. Put it right at the. Oh no! I want to put it in the bottom of B tier. So this next game is another S tier game. I mean, look at these mini games that we're getting in the S tier. This is the tank mini game where you have to hide behind pipes and shoot other players with tanks, and it's freaking awesome, man. This is like, I love this. This is also very similar to Mario Kart 64 Battle Mode, except you're firing things at other people that are like cannons. They're not like items. But still, this was a freaking awesome game, and you could do so many things. I would play this one endlessly if I could. This one is just so much fun. All right, Skateboard Scamper is different in this one. Instead of being over lava, you are in Boo's mansion. It is a little bit more tricky than the previous one, but in this case, it's not in a good way. So, Skateboard Scamper is going to go near the bottom of B tier, I think. I'm going to put it right here, I think. No, actually, I'm going to put it a little further down. I think this one is inferior to the first one. Also, because I don't think you can get coins or extra items. I can't remember, but the rising and falling platforms can be a difficulty at sometimes. Alright guys, Slot Car Derby is better than ever in Mario Party 2, and this one is going into S tier. Look at all these S tier games we have for Mario Party 2, so many good ones. Slot Car Derby is probably going to go right there. I like that place for it. Always a classic, always fun, always enjoyable. I mean, you can't get much better than Slot Car Derby. All right, this next game is a personal, gripe of mine, but it's still an average game. Basically, you have to go in these barrels and walk towards Chain Chomp and then walk back after hitting a switch. But if Chain Chomp wakes up and you're out of your barrel, you lose. So it's basically a sneak game, like Stealthy Snoop kind of from DK64. It's average. I mean, I will put it here. I'm very bad at this game because I always misjudge how long it takes to get back in a barrel. But it's average. I don't really think it's anything too special. All right, knock hockey. I kind of remember knock hockey from when I was younger. This is first to 3 wins, and I think this would have been better with multiple shells rather than one. It would have been a little more interesting. But as it is, it's still pretty fun, and I think I'll put it in B tier. I want to put it. I don't think it's as good as these ones. Is it better than this one? Yeah, let's put it right there. Good spot for it. All right, Tipsy Tourney. I love Tipsy Tourney. It is so much fun. It is going to go exactly where it was before in A tier. I mean, just being able to control that shell is so satisfying. It's really nice. All right, the next one is a simple game, but it's also very easy. So as much as I really like this one, it is a little too simple. It's kind of like the one where you have to ground pound on those blocks. So I'm going to put it probably in a similar place. Basically, you have to hit the block when it says Toad's face, and if you do, you get a Toad and you get a point. And this one ends in ties too often, too, so that's another issue. We'll put it right there in C tier. So we're already seeing a much higher grade average of tiers for the mini games here, so you can already see how that's going to work. All right, Crane Game. This is even worse than the previous one because you can get extra time. I don't know what they were thinking, but I mean, Crane Game is just the worst. I hated it in Mario Party 1. They had to bring it back. Like, it's like that archer game. You're completely helpless if you're the 3 players, and I do not like it, man. All right, what is this? The factory one? The candy chocolate whatever factory? I feel like from I Love Lucy? Yeah, okay, so this one's an interesting concept. I do think, I don't have anything bad to say about it, so I think we'll put it in B tier, it looks like. But where? I do think this one's a little more fun than some of these games down here. Probably better than Looney Lumberjacks. I'm gonna put it right there. We're running out of B tier space, guys. Look at all these B tier games. Okay. The next one is the bowling pin game, which, like I said, I was never a fan of to begin with, but it's okay. I like the aesthetic for this one, so I might put this in C tier this time. Bowled over will probably go... I think it's better than Sky Pilots, so I'll put it there. Alright, now this next game is really fun, and it actually takes a little bit of math and logic and thinking, which is why I really love it. It's called Honeycomb Havoc, and you either roll a 1 or a 2, and if you get a beehive in your basket, you lose. But thinking ahead is really important in this one, and there is logic involved, ladies and gentlemen. So Honeycomb Havoc's going to get an A tier. You know, it's a bit of a surprise entry, but it is really fun. I'm almost thinking of putting this in S tier, but not quite. Not quite. I'm going to put this probably in the top of A tier. I mean, not many people talk about this one, but it is a logic and math-based game, and predictive. Alright, I'm not sure which minigame this is down here. Let me take a closer look. Oh, I know which one this is. Okay. This one, yeah, it looks like they've got hammers in this one, so I'm assuming it's a hammer game. It's hard to tell. Since I can't tell what this one is, I'm just gonna, remove it, because I just don't know which one this one is. So I'm gonna put it off. I'm not gonna do that one, but maybe I'll look it up in a minute. This last one is Look Away, and Look Away is, I'm not a fan of it. It's an interesting concept though, but it is a little bit chancy. It's not 100% chance, but it's a little bit chancy. I'll put it in the bottom of C tier, I think. Alright, so what is this remaining game here, guys? Let's look that up real quick. Mario Party 2 mini-games? I'm not sure which one this is. I just don't remember this one. This is, which one is this? No. Slot car. But no, it's not. Oh, it's Lights Out. Okay, I do. Is it the one with the... Okay, I know which one this is. Alright, sorry guys. Lights Out is one where you got one player with a hammer, and the other one's and is trying to... Or, actually, no, sorry. One player with a bulb, and the other 3 players have a hammer, and you're trying to knock the bulb out. At least I think that's what it is. If I'm correct, and that's what I'm thinking it is, like I said, I forgot what it was, so it's obviously pretty forgettable. But I do remember the concept, and it is going to go in C tier for this one. Sorry about not knowing which one this was. I couldn't really see the picture very well. Lights Out, we'll put, we're just going to put it in mid, right in the middle of C tier. Alright, so guys, this was my Mario Party 2 tier list for minigames, and you can see already there are a lot of improvements in Mario Party 2 than there were in Mario Party 1. The best of the best kind of remain where they are, with Mushroom Mix-Up / Hexagon Heat and Shy Guy Says being even better. Toad Bandstand's still up there. The new games, the Tank game, the Dizzy record game, Shock Drop and Roll, those are some interesting additions. Honeycomb Havoc, almost breaking S tier as well, a new entry into the Mario Party 2. Facelift and Crazy Cutter, still pretty good, but a little bit less than the previous one. Bombs Away, always a classic. Crowd Cover, a good new game, and there are a lot more S and A tier ones than there were in Mario Party 1, but the majority of them still sticking around. A tier, B tier, C tier, that kind of area. There are a lot less bad, like outrightly bad games, but there are battle games, there are chance games, and what isn't mentioned here is there are duel games, which we'll get more into when we do the Mario Party 3 tier list, so I'll kind of bring it up at that point. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, OopDube44. Make sure to check out my Discord. The link is in the description. And guys, I will see you guys later. Have a good rest of your day.